You're listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
Good morning, Savannah. How are you? I'm Wayne Waters. You're listening to Savannah Lexicon on WRUU-LP 107.5 FM. We're streaming online live from the heart of Savannah's downtown historic district. Savannah Lexicon is a show designed to inform the listener about important social, political, and cultural issues that shape Savannah, as well as about opportunities to experience things in and around this beautiful city that might bring an added measure of grace and joy to your life. I speak with representatives of the local government, social service organizations, cultural organizations, artists, writers, craftsmen, and women, purveyors of adventure, almost anyone who can help shed some light on how to live a well-informed, full life here in the most beautiful city in the nation, Savannah, Georgia. My trusty producer, Keith Baudry, and I are on air every Wednesday from 9 to 10 in the morning, and we surely do appreciate you for listening. Today, we have Charlie Smith, who is the CEO of Savannah Music Depot, which is the company entity that is behind the exciting new music venue that's going to be opening in less than a couple of weeks now, called the StageOnBay. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Wayne. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Glad to have you. I appreciate it. This is great. So we got a new venue coming, all ages.
Absolutely.
And we should go ahead and tell folks that the opening act is...
Well, it's the iconic, and I do mean iconic because they've charted on the country charts, the rock charts, and even the gospel charts. It's the iconic Marshall Tucker Band.
Heard it in a love song.
You threatened to do that. Can't you see, baby? But it's going to be a great show. They
do it much better, by the way, than I do.
They do it pretty well. They're in their 45th anniversary tour.
Amazing.
And we've got actually some opening support from a fairly local band called the Stepping Stones.
That's what I understand. Yeah, they have local ties.
Yep, and they're represented by Marshall Tucker's same agency in Nashville. And when they said, "Hey, these guys are from Hilton Head and Savannah, the Low Country, the Coastal Country, you got to have them," so we said, "You know what? We'll go with your best estimates. Let's do it. Let's make it a party."
So they're the opening act.
They're the opening act, and then Tucker will come on and do about 90 minutes.
And this is February 3rd, is that
Friday,
right?
February the 3rd.
And things will get going about what time?
Doors will be at 7 o'clock. The Stepping Stones will take the stage at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Tickets are on sale online, I guess?
Tickets are on sale online. You can go to Ticketfly. Yep. You can go to www.sav, like the airport code, SAV Concerts, or you can go to www.stageonbay.com.
Okay.
All of them will take you to the Ticketfly ticketing site.
Excellent. That's going to be good. Friday, February 3rd, so we're almost there, man. Can you believe it?
Don't we know it? Our construction crews, and I have to give it to the city of Savannah. They've been incredibly encouraging, and the city government has been incredibly helpful, especially the development office in terms of working with new businesses to get the renovation done, get the inspections done. And hopefully that all happens in the next, I think we're down to 16 days, 17 days, or 10 days. I lose count.
Wow.
Soon.
You're not going to have much sleep between now and then.
No. But, nature of the beast.
Okay, so, and let's just talk a little bit. The building, a 12,000 square foot building, I guess, and I've been out there myself. I went out and interviewed Charlie for a piece that I'm doing for South Magazine, and so it's a good facility. You're going to have a stage. Tell us a little bit about it. It's a 40-foot wide by 24-foot deep stage, I believe.
It's a big time concert stage. I mean, Lady Antebellum's played on this stage. Bruce Springsteen has played on this stage. It's we brought it down from up north. It's 40 by 24 by 42 inches tall, so it's 3.5 feet tall, which helps everybody in the house have a great view.
Absolutely, yes.
The building itself, ironically, it's the first building we looked at in Savannah about a year ago when we stopped and said, there's nothing like this in Savannah. Why don't we look at doing something? Because we've got some pretty good relationships with the talent agencies, and all the people involved have been involved in the business a very long time. Collectively, almost 100 years probably. So it's not our first rodeo, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we looked at this building. It's 1 mile outside the historic district. People may remember it's the old Granger building at 1200 West Bay Street.
Right.
What we loved about the building is it was essentially a big open warehouse. So it's got 28-foot ceilings. It's got now has a newly constructed 14-foot loft mezzanine area where you can go and you can have access to private restrooms and a service bar, and you can look out over the crowd at the crowd and the show. But it enables us to do arena-style shows in a theater club atmosphere. So what I mean by that is we're able to fly our sound and lights from the ceiling. We're able to have a big stage. We're able to have enough room so nobody feels crowded. We're able to configure the building modularly. So for Marshall Tucker, there's 250 reserve seats. There's 120 seats up and the reserve seats are right down in front of the stage. There's 120 seats up in the loft club, and then there's 500 some odd general admission seats where you can come and just grab a high top, sit by the bar, wander around, dance, socialize, do whatever you want. So if you want that club bar vibe, you can do that. If you want the theater experience where you don't want to be standing for a couple of hours, you can do that. And if you want the sort of higher end social experience, you can do that upstairs.
Yes.
So we've renovated the entire building. We've soundproofed the entire building. So, being an old warehouse, sometimes when you have metal and steel, you can get what we call slapback.
Right.
Just like you've got soundproofing in the studio, we've now soundproofed every wall in the venue. So the sound should be preeminent. The concert experience, the talent we're bringing, we're hoping to put together that magical combination.
And it seems at a very reasonable price to me from the ticket sales I've been seeing, or ticket prices I've been seeing for not only this, but for the other shows too. And we'll get to the coming up shows as well, because you've already got a lot of shows laid out.
Yes, we do.
Let's just talk again a little bit about, continue talking about the facility itself, because up in that kind of VIP lounge, which is really cool, you've got, and correct me if I'm hitting anything wrong here, but you got a service bar.
Correct.
Got a couple of bathrooms.
Correct.
Some high-top tables with nice chairs.
Yes, sir.
About 40 leather bar stools, so really nice bar stools. And you've got even a couple of couches.
Correct.
And so you're sitting up there in like the catbird seat, as it were, and you have an excellent, obviously an excellent view of the stage over everybody's heads.
And the great thing is no one is ever more than 75 feet from the artist, even in the loft club.
Wow. Yeah, because the loft club it's
the back.
Is towards the back, but that's still 75 feet away. That's not bad at all.
No,
that's very good.
And, our goal is bring world-class artists in and let you see them in we call it a modern concert venue. So you can be up close and personal, but you're not crowded and on top of each other.
Right. And it is really nice. Like you say, you've got the three different areas. I mean, that VIP lounge is great, but you've got, like you say, just one whole side, really, of the building almost is a bar.
Absolutely.
With so lots of bar space there and lots of stand around and kind of mosey around space. But then also you've got the seating, nice seating up in front of the stage.
Absolutely. And on some shows, for instance, we've got Corey Smith, St. Patrick's Day Saturday, the day after St. Patrick's Day, and we just announced the country star Tyler Farr for St. Patrick's Day night.
Okay.
There won't be any reserved seating because those are party bands.
Right.
They want their fans up close. They want them holding that beer up and giving them a toast. And that's just come get as close to your favorite star as you can, dance, party, have a great time. So that's how we can configure it modularly.
Well, let's then go ahead and talk, I guess, about the range of people that you're having, because clearly you are very much trying to be eclectic in your choices. Absolutely. And hit as many different genres as you can. So,
absolutely.
So tell us who's coming after, of course, again, the big debut show, February 3rd, Marshall Tucker, and we'll get back to that, actually, before it's all over with. But who's kind of coming up after Marshall Tucker and in the future here?
Well, Wayne, you just hit the nail on the head, eclectic, because this is an eclectic market. This market has a potpourri of musical taste, so we want to reflect that. We don't want to be pigeonholed into one genre of music over another. So we start with the Marshall Tucker Band and what's arguably some of the best Southern rock you'll hear anywhere. Then we go to the following weekend, and our goal is one major act, one national headline act every week.
That's amazing, yeah.
And because it is an eclectic market, we think there's enough support by sort of slicing up genres to be able to do that.
Right. Okay.
So the following week, we have a gentleman, people don't know his name necessarily. His name is Steve Algeri. But Steve, I like to say when one Steve left, the call went out to another. Because Steve was the lead vocalist of Journey for almost 10 years. When Steve Perry left the band, and the band wanted to resume recording and touring around the world, they hired Steve Algeri. He's actually the voice on the Journey 2001 DVD. And when you hear our radio ads, that's actually his voice from that DVD.
And I heard it. Charlie played it for me when I went to interview him out at the club, and man, you'd think it's Steve Perry. I mean, if you hadn't told me it wasn't Steve Perry, I would have figured it was Steve Perry.
And that's the Saturday of Valentine's weekend. So if significant others and husbands and wives and spouses of all nature are looking for something to get their loved one, we see a lot of it on Facebook. Honey, this is what I want for St. Patrick's Day. Because stop and think about it. I mean, Open Arms, Don't Stop Believin', Faithfully, Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin'. These are iconic songs.
I'll spare everyone trying to mimic Steve Perry. That would be truly ugly, so I won't try that.
But so, that's arguably in the classic rock genre. So then the following weekend, which is the last 10 days of Mardi Gras, we thought it would be cool to bring in Mark and Ted Broussard. Mark Broussard they call him the sort of Bayou Blues man.
And one of my favorite songs in the entire world.
Home?
They do. Home.
Yeah.
Oh, man, guys, if you haven't heard that song, listen to it. It'll rock your socks off. It's just so good.
And if you've ever watched American Idol or The Voice, you've heard it because it's covered. Yep. Somebody always covers that song.
True enough.
Including Blake Shelton.
Including Blake Shelton? Mm-hmm. Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So he is the following weekend on Friday, February 17th. On Friday, February 24th, we figured, it doesn't get really cold in Savannah.
True enough.
But there have been a few chilly nights.
There have been.
And we know people are looking forward to getting back to Tybee and back to the beaches in the summer. So we were able to pick off Changes in Latitudes, which is the nation's preeminent Jimmy Buffett tribute band.
Oh, okay.
And they come with 10 pieces.
Wow.
And all of the sets. And we're going to do our halfway to summer party. So if you're a parrot head and you love Jimmy Buffett music, they are. I encourage you to look them up on YouTube. They are phenomenal. They are Buffett. Then we turn it around full circle, and on Friday, March the 3rd, if you like kind of alternative rock, we've got Tantric with Saving Abel and Puddle of Mud. And it's Puddle of Mud's Come Clean tour, where they are performing the entire contents of their 5-time platinum album, Come Clean.
Right.
So that one should be real. That will be a sellout in my opinion. It's already doing very well with little or no advertising.
Wow.
The following weekend, March 11th, if you like comedy.
That's right. You guys are actually going to do some comedy. I didn't mention that.
Comedy.
Yeah.
We've got Gallagher with special guest Artie Fletcher.
Put your raincoat on.
Put your raincoat on, and if you want a piece of watermelon, it'll be coming your way. I promise you, because he still smashes the watermelons. Then, of course, we get into St. Patrick's Day week.
Yes,
and
big week.
Yeah, our goal is to kind of let people know we're here and let tourists know we're here. So we start Wednesday night with a band called 20 Ride. They are the one of the preeminent Zac Brown tribute bands.
Okay.
And our thought was, you've got tourists, they're coming into Georgia, into Savannah. What's more Georgia than the music of Zac Brown?
True.
So we haven't made a lot of noise about this next band yet. We've sort of dropped it out there, but on Thursday night we're going to head back to Southern Rock, and we're going to bring in Blackfoot. So if you remember, their iconic hit Train.
Yes.
The Train will be coming to the stage.
Okay.
So that's Thursday night before St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day night, of course, we like to say if you're going to walk anywhere in Savannah on a Friday night on St. Patrick's Day, maybe into a bar, come walk into a bar with Tyler Farr, the man who sang it. A guy walked into a bar. So, number one hit, 5 top 5 hits. So Tyler will take to the stage on Friday night, and we wind it up on Saturday with Corey Smith.
Wow.
So the indie country alternative guy who's, Mr. Georgia.
Yeah.
So then we take a break, and we take a rest for...
That's a big week.
That's a big week. And we rest for about 5 days. And on Friday the 24th of March, if you want the original pioneers of heavy metal, and we laugh because there's nothing heavy metal about them now, but we bring in Quiet Riot. So 80s hair bands, hair band takes over the stage.
Okay.
But we've done them before.
Yeah.
They're a great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
Come feel the noise.
Exactly. Right? Come feel the noise and bang your head.
Yep.
I guess the title on that is Mental Health Will Drive You Mad. I don't know that we've got anything booked the next week yet, but then 2 weeks after that, we go to Sister Hazel. Some iconic sort of indie, country, rock, and that one is selling like crazy. But again, it's a great Southern band out of originally from Gainesville, Florida. So we're trying to bring it. We got a couple other ones in the works that we're going to announce. We got some more big country.
Man, those are some
more
big
Southern
names.
rock. Yeah, we're trying.
Those are some big names.
And we're going to bring some young indie,
Yeah.
I forgot, March 31st. Let's not forget this. We're going to do a 90s dance party with CNC Music Factory.
That's right.
Everybody dance now.
Everybody dance
Exactly.
now. There you go. All right.
So we're going to have some fun.
Excellent. And actually, I think, and you're getting in some of these, I know, because I've talked to a couple of local musicians, I think you're getting some local bands
Absolutely.
to play occasionally to open for some of these people.
Both to open and on the off night. I mean, our primary goal, we're a live concert venue. We're a live music venue.
Right.
But because Savannah attracts 14 million people a year, in our opinion, we want to showcase to all of those visitors some of the region's best talent. So given that people are, you're trying to create traffic to your venue for your big shows, you also want people to know that dependably on a Friday or a Saturday night, they can come and hear stellar live music and showcase local talent. For instance, we've got Lynn Avenue on Friday night, February the 12th, which is a big-time Savannah sort of modern country act. And they're going to play the Friday night before Steve Algeri.
Okay.
We've got Ember City on Saturday, March the 4th. They're in sort of an indie alternative Savannah act, and they're going to play the day after Puddle of Mud. So we believe it's important to nurture the local music scene as well.
Excellent. All right. Now, let's just back up a minute and just talk briefly about just a thumbnail about your background. I know you've been in the music business a while, and you were and I guess still are maybe a part of a very successful club in New York.
We had a club in New York. We became so enamored and so committed to Savannah, we actually sent a moving truck up and brought everything down.
Okay.
We brought everything down. It's such a better market. Such a wonderful opportunity. But yeah, I've been in the business. One of my partners in this venture was a partner in that one, and we figured it out that we've known each other 35 years.
Wow.
I tried to sell him radio time
in
upstate
New
York
way back?
In 1982 when I was in graduate school. And we ended up promoting shows together. Probably the biggest one we did back then was we did the Beach Boys outdoors on a Labor Day weekend.
That's big.
That was big.
That's big.
Poco, remember them? They were the opening act.
Yeah, I used to love Poco, actually.
I put a jacket and tie on and went to work in media in New York City, and eventually ended up landing, through no fault of my own, at the National Football League and then the National Hockey League.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all entertainment. I mean, sports and entertainment go hand in glove. And he and I stayed in touch because a lot of times we would do corporate events, and I would bring him in to help buy talent and entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. So we did that, and I practiced law. I'm also a practicing attorney, or as I sometimes tell people, a recovering attorney, because this business is just a whole lot more fun. But I have a fairly vibrant entertainment law practice that when I'm not trying to get this thing open, I try to pay some attention to.
All right. Excellent. You're based in Jacksonville yourself, I think, and but your wife has connections here.
My wife grew up in Lyons, Georgia.
Okay.
So by Vidalia.
Okay.
But this was always the town that you came to buy prom dresses and Christmas shopping. The big city.
All right.
The bigger doctors, the bigger hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. So we would come here all the time.
Right.
And we had the club in New York. And we've been known to enjoy an adult beverage and a nice club occasionally.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, so, we would go out, and it finally dawned on me. I said, why am I flying up north in the cold on airplanes, a day of travel to get there? We could be doing the same concept in Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And my brother-in-law lives here. Her cousin lives here. And now we have an apartment here, so I'm here. So I split my time basically.
Yeah, and more so.
More so
now at this point,
and it's going to stay that way. I mean, you can't bring this level of talent in and employ 30 or 40 people and not pay attention to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
so it's a great city. It's a beautiful, wonderful city. It's been so embracing to us, and it helps that my wife has family here.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And, Jacksonville's right down the road anyway, so.
Do it all the poor dog doesn't, he looks at me like, am I going to Savannah? Am I staying in Jacksonville? I think I'd rather go to Savannah. There's better smells, better parks, and everybody likes, everything's dog friendly.
Okay, we are going to take just a very brief musical interlude break, and then we're going to come back and speak some more with Charlie about the Stage on Bay.
What's next? Would you reanimate that? Your good habits, I can turn them all into bad.
Wayne Waters, and I host Savannah Lexicon on WRUULP 107.5 FM every Wednesday from 9 to 10. Savannah Lexicon is a conversation with representatives of this city's social, political, and cultural organizations. Give it a listen every Wednesday morning, 9 to 10, here on WRUULP 107.5 FM. All right, if you're just joining us, our guest today is Charlie Schmidt. He is the man behind the new music venue, the StageOnBay, which is going to open up and have its debut show on February 3rd with the Marshall Tucker Band, which is going to be great. I do want to say and let you know that this portion of WRUULP Savannah Soundings programming is made possible by a grant from Weeks Consulting, offering strategic marketing, communications, issue advocacy, and community outreach services. More information available at 912-231-2252. Okay, Charlie. So I just wanted to bring up, you've mentioned when we talked last time too that obviously Savannah is the focus.
Absolutely.
And who you're really looking to in terms of folks who are going to be coming out there and having a good time. But you are mindful of the fact that it's a very easy location for people in surrounding areas to get to. And with names like this, you're thinking, and rightfully so, I believe, you're thinking that a lot of people from, who knows, Hardyville, South Carolina, across the bridge, Bloomingdale, Statesboro, wherever, will be keying in on this. And you also mentioned that, the fact that it's easy to get to the club from outlying regions without having to go into downtown is
exactly.
kind of yeah.
And that was one of the things that attracted us about the location. I mean, we're 1 mile from the heart of the historic district.
Yep.
But we also have almost 2 acres of parking, which we're securing with our own security staff and off-duty officers from Savannah Chatham Metro PD. But the beauty of it is if you want to avoid the historic district, you can just come in on 516 and avoid it completely.
Right.
And yet, if you want to start in a historic district or end in a historic district, it's 1 mile. It's a $5 Uber ride.
Right.
So we really like that. And you are correct. We are very mindful. When we looked at the market and made this decision, we looked at what, as you know, they call it in marketing terms, the DMA, the dominant market area. Mm-hmm. And this DMA extends up to Hilton Head. It extends south, essentially, to Brunswick. Yeah. And west, probably past Statesboro into Vidalia. Okay. And there's almost 1 million people in this DMA.
Wow!
So we're very cognizant of that, and I think it was borne out when we made our initial announcement on December 3rd or 4th. We put up a Facebook page, and one of the first, it may have been the first response I got, was from a woman in Beaufort, South Carolina, which is not just around the corner.
Yeah.
It's probably, an hour and 10-minute drive?
Something like that, yeah.
And she said, oh, my God, we love Quiet Riot. We're bringing, 20 people from Beaufort to see Quiet Riot. I'm telling all my friends. So, that's kind of the gig, not to give it a double entendre, is to bring big enough talent that people will. And what we say to our business partners in Savannah and to the city, listen, our goal is make it big enough talent. They want to come here and then they want to spend an overnight.
Yeah,
and they want to go to a restaurant. They want to go to some other bars. They want to do some shopping the next day.
Yeah, sure.
I know from Marshall Tucker, just from people that we know in Jacksonville and Vidalia, there are probably 40 people coming and buying hotel room nights and taking ghost tours and, thankfully, because I'm going to be a little too busy to be the tour guide. But so we're mindful of that. And the same holds true with the artists. When we started talking to the agencies, especially when you're talking country, most of them are based out of Nashville.
Right.
When you're going to play in Florida, you have to drive essentially within 6 miles of our venue.
True enough.
So why not pick up a date, make a couple of dollars, and then drive on to or from your gig in Florida?
Makes perfectly good sense.
And that's how we've gotten Tyler Farr, and that's how we've gotten Corey Smith. They're both coming into or out of Runaway Country in Kissimmee, Florida, outside Orlando, which is a huge 3-day country festival.
Okay.
So it works real well, and it's not too hard to convince artists to want to stop in Savannah.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're gonna stop somewhere, Savannah, Georgia is not a bad place to be and spend a little time.
Better than upstate New York in the winter. I can tell you
no
that.
argument. No argument. I've never experienced upstate New York in the winter, but I can easily imagine.
We did a show with Justin Moore, and the ambient temperature outside was minus 14.
Oh, man.
But there were still 2,000 people. All the ladies were in their Daisy Dukes and boots. They all left it was incredible. They all left their coats in the car because everybody wants to look the part. I don't know how they did it, but
I'm sorry. At this point, I'm not sure how many bands I'd be willing to do that for, but I guess there might be a few.
I'm with you.
But yeah, okay. Well, good. Yeah, because you got, again, when you pull out some names like the names you've pulled out, I mean, people know, and people have some really fond memories. If they haven't seen them in a long time, maybe, possibly, even if they haven't, they have some really strong connotations and memories with these bands and this music.
That's what music does.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, music creates memories, and all we're trying to do is, reinvigorate those memories. And we've got a couple other announcements that are coming down. I got a confirmation on one yesterday that I can't announce yet. Well, I'll tease it.
Oh, okay. Tease it a little bit.
His first name begins with an R, his last name begins with an A, and he has 6 #1 country hits. So, and he sings about a farmer's daughter.
Okay.
And if you're going through hell, just keep running.
Okay.
So,
Good.
6 #1 country hits. So that's going to have some memories for people.
No kidding. No kidding.
And we're excited about that one. We're excited about all of them.
Absolutely great. Fantastic. Well, this has had to, I'm sure you are just really happy to see this come to fruition. I know you've been working your tail off and still are.
We are.
But, man, are you going to be able to take some time off after this
Probably not, because, once you build it up, you want to keep it going. But,
sure.
Our biggest thing, I have a city council hearing on our liquor license. So, in today's world, you can't make any money just selling concert tickets.
Yeah.
The band walks out, for better or for worse, walks out with most of the money.
Yeah.
So that's fairly important to us. And then we've just got to get that certificate of occupancy, get that bar stocked, get our staff up and running, and hope and pray.
Well, that license is pretty much that's just a formality, right? I mean, you're up and ready to go. You've already discussed it. You got the paperwork ready to go.
Everything's submitted. And the city was great. They put us on the first available council agenda. So we feel good about it.
Good.
It was wonderful when I met with the police department. They said, you guys are one of the more buttoned up applicants we've seen for a license. Because you know what? As I tell people, what little money I made to put in this, I started my legal career as a trial lawyer, and I was a plaintiff's lawyer, and I used to sue bars. So what little money I made to put into this, I don't want to be on the receiving end of one of those.
I'm sure.
So we're pretty buttoned up in terms of how we try to run the operation.
Yeah. Good. All right. So getting back for a moment to Marshall Tucker on the 3rd. That's on the 3rd. And 45th, did you say?
45th anniversary tour.
Man, that's hard to believe.
Yep.
Let me think. How old am I? Good God.
And they
I'm older than I thought, apparently.
I mean, it's, a lot of people will say, well, you don't have all the original members. Well, you have the most important original members.
I was going to say, any band, the truth of the matter is,
Absolutely.
It comes down usually to one or two guys or girls or whatever the case may be who really are the band,
And that's Doug Gray. I mean, Doug was the co-founder, and he's the lead vocalist.
Right.
So that's pretty much what you want.
He's the main man. Yeah.
So they're phenomenal. We did them in New York, and they, the response was amazing. So we're really looking forward to doing them, in their own backyard, so to speak, because they're just from up the road. I mean, they're from I believe it's Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, somewhere in South Carolina. Is that where Greenville?
It may not be Greenville, but it's around there.
Yeah, somewhere in South Carolina. That's
And the South Carolina
almost
state
like,
is on their logo.
You know, I think of South Carolina as not South Carolina. South Carolina is North Georgia.
Pretty much.
You know,
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
For me, that's like it's Northeast Georgia. I mean, particularly when you think about the coastal area. I mean, it's like, you know, that's just you're just going right up the coast from Georgia. That's all. That's North Georgia to me. Now, and also, I think we mentioned this, but let's just touch on this again too. Is that this is an all ages venue? So tell us exactly how that works on that end.
Well, it generally needs to be. And Savannah just amended its liquor license regulations, its municipal ordinances to permit that. And in our view, that's true. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Most major talent agencies, because their job is to expose their talent and ultimately, well, in our day, Wayne, it was sell records.
Yeah,
now it's sell downloads.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, that's their job. That's why a band tours, is you want to sell product. You know, everything from T-shirts to downloads to they still sell CDs.
Sure.
So they
to
generally
people like me particularly.
Absolutely.
I still want a CD.
Me too.
Damn it! I want the whole CD with the
Liner
artwork
notes.
and the liner notes, and I want to see the members that were playing in the band and who did this and who did that. I want the whole thing, and I want it in a nice, neat package I can hold in my damn hands.
Yep.
Excuse me. Whoops. Excuse me.
And occasionally they'll even sign it for you.
Yeah.
So, but you know, so the talent agents want all ages if possible. So what we do is our policy is simple. If you're under 18, you have to present with a parent or a guardian.
Okay.
If you're over 18, you're fine. You can come in. You can watch the show, but you can't partake in any adult beverages.
Right.
And 21 and over to drink. So we check IDs. We wand and metal detect, and if a subsequent pat-down is necessary, because we don't want any weapons coming in, obviously, and it's not usually a problem, but a lot of times people will forget they've got their knife with them or something of that nature.
Yeah.
We ask them to take that back to the car. And then you get a wristband, and a wristband denotes your age. And we change the wristbands from show to show. And we have a few other, you know, proprietary tricks that we do that we can tell if you're an underage person who shouldn't be consuming alcohol, and you are, and you know, we ask you to stop nicely. Yeah. And then if you don't, we ask you to leave nicely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. I forgot they did just pass legislation regarding that, so that does help matters a little bit. And I guess so. Again, you can buy tickets ahead of time.
Absolutely. savconcerts.com, StageOnBay.com. Our box office will be open from 12 through showtime on any show days.
From noon, we're talking about till
through the show.
Through the show
on all show days. So if we do a show on a Thursday, we get a big act. We're going to do a show on a Thursday, a Wednesday, a Tuesday. If we get a big act passing through and they want to play us,
yeah, sure.
And it's open from 12 until 6 on every Friday and Saturday, even if we don't have a show, or if we have a local show, a regional show. It's open from 12 till 6 every Friday and Saturday. And you know, there are certain people, admittedly. All of the ticketing services, whether it be Ticketfly, Ticketmaster, they all get a service charge.
Yeah, sure.
So if you come to the box office, you eliminate that convenience fee.
Right.
But so there are some folks who, you know, will make the drive and come to the box office. You know, we haven't been open yet, quite candidly, because we've been building, and everybody's bought all their tickets online, and ticket sales are brisk. So that's good.
Good.
I think, you know, today with your phone, you go on the phone, you press a button, you press another button, and, you know, the ticket downloads to your phone, and we scan your phone when you come in.
Right. It is very convenient these days. Okay, let's take another brief little musical interlude as we come into the last segment. I'm going to just read a couple of kind of announcements about things that are going on in the city, that sort of thing, for a minute, and then we'll close out with Charlie as we close out the show. But hang on just a minute. Hold your horses for us. We'll be right back.
Romeo is melting so slow and heavy. How could you let me? How could you let me? How could you? How could you? How could you let me? My heart is melting in your arms. So my mind is tripping into your figure. Your love, some kind of song. My love. Romeo is melting so slow and heavy. How could you let me? How could you let me? My love. Your love.
All right. Glad to have you back. Here we are on the final segment. I can't believe it. If you're just joining us, and man, you're way too late if you're just joining us, by the way. But as you know, very soon we will have all of these shows online, so you can go back and listen to it at any time, any place, anywhere that you've got a laptop or what have you. Anyway, but we do and have been talking with Charlie Schmidt with the new music venue in Savannah, the StageOnBay, and we're going to wrap up. We'll end out the show speaking with him a little bit more. But first, I did want to make some announcements about things going on in this wonderful city of ours that I think are interesting, and you might as well, and I want to make sure you're aware of it. For one thing, there is an event noon, January 21 in Wright Square for those who cannot attend the Women's March on Washington. If you're interested in this, then you can go to what they're calling a sister march. And again, there is one here in Savannah on Wright Square noon, January 21st. There is a fleet of buses actually headed to D.C. on January 20th that returns January 22nd to go to the Women's March on Washington, which is January 21. So if that is of interest to you, you might want to look into it and get involved and express your opinions and feelings regarding the current political scenario. Let's see. I want to let you know that the Savannah City Council meeting is, is the 19th. Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. That is tomorrow.
Intimately familiar with that one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where you're going to be, Charlie. All right, yeah. So tomorrow at 2, Savannah City Council meeting. And that, of course, is Council Chambers, second floor of City Hall. And that's going on. There is a special Chatham County Commission meeting, 9:30 on day after tomorrow. That is at the Old County Courthouse, 124 Bull, second floor there as well. So you know what, these are open to the community, folks, and sometimes it's good to know what's going on, and maybe you even have something that you want to express at one of these things. January 19 through 21, Film Festival, the Telluride Mountain Film on Tour in Savannah, 19th through the 21st, screening more than 30 films. Begins January 19th at 7 p.m. at the Trustees Theater. That is, if you've ever experienced that before, it is some absolutely astonishing footage of people doing absolutely incredible things in the great outdoors. Also coming up is a very interesting thing that I've never heard of, but I may look into myself. Also on the 21st, Dining in the Dark, which offers guests a peek into an unfamiliar world, as I'm reading from the Savannah Morning News, to discover a new, deeper understanding of vision loss. 6 p.m. January 21st at the Embassy Suites by Hilton in downtown Savannah. And essentially it involves a three-course meal using night vision technology. And the whole effect here is to give you a sense of what it's like to be low vision or to have no vision. And that obviously if anyone in your world is in that kind of situation, that can be a very interesting and helpful kind of thing to do. Plus, to me, it just would be honestly just interesting to do on its own right. I mean, I've actually had this experience, not through this organization, not doing this exact thing, but I spent a day blindfolded one time, actually, when I did a story on an individual who was blind. Not that gives you a real sense of what it's like to live without vision, but it does give you some sense of it. This seems to be a similar kind of a thing. And January 22nd, I think a quite worthwhile cause, Senior Citizens Incorporated annual blanket drive. And this will start January 22nd and actually go all the way through February 14th, and where you can donate a new blanket at Senior Citizens Incorporated headquarters on Bull Street. And then there are drop locations throughout the landings on Skidaway Island. Also can be donated at any participating Starbucks. And again, that is a blanket drive for senior citizens and other folks who are somewhat less able to provide certain things for themselves. Okay, we got just a little bit left. So, Charlie, I just wanted to kind of round it out here. Again, February 3rd, the StageOnBay, 1200
West Bay Street, the old
West
Granger
Bay
building, right a half block west of our good neighbors and good friends at Southbound Brewing.
That's right. Yeah, they're right around the corner.
Absolutely.
So that's a good spot. And the StageOnBay. So the brand new all-age music and occasionally comedy and occasionally who knows what else venue that's opening up, starting out debut show with Marshall Tucker Band on February 3rd, and a great lineup of big names coming in the weeks and months and hopefully years to come. So I don't know how you want to close it out. What's your final say here?
I would just say, this is such a great social, cultural entertainment town that we just want to integrate ourselves into the fabric of it, and we hope the town embraces us as much as we look forward to embracing the town.
Well said. All right. Well, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I wish you good luck. I don't think you're going to need a heck of a lot of it. I think it's going to be really great. You got some great music coming in, and it's a great addition to the music-scape of Savannah.
It's a great music scene.
Well, thanks for coming, Charlie. We appreciate it. You guys, listen out. Let me tell you who's coming next week. Rachel Reese from Telfair Museums is coming, and we're going to be talking most particularly about the really cool Nick Cave exhibit that is coming up at the Telfair Museums. We'll also talk about Telfair Museums in general, but a Nick Cave art exhibit is coming to the Telfair, which I think is great too. So that's going to be next Wednesday. Hope you're listening then, and until then, take care and have yourself a good week.
If you enjoy the programming on WRUU-LP, please support the station with a donation. Basic memberships begin at only $50. Additional membership levels are available, and monthly or recurring donations are welcome as well. To check out our membership rates and to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select your preferred donation level. Again, to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual. Thank you for listening to and supporting WRUU-LP. This is WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul.